They still make those. The laughter echoed across the executive parking lot as I stepped out of my 1998 Ford F-150. Brandon filmed it. Evan posted it online. The whole company joked about the budget hire in the beat-up farm truck. What they didn't know, while they were leasing luxury cars they couldn't afford, I was quietly buying shares of their company. 7%, then 12%, then more. They mocked my truck every single day for months. I never said a word. I just kept buying. The day I walked into that boardroom as a controlling shareholder, owning 51% of the company that humiliated me, Brandon's face went white. "The truck guy," he whispered. "You're serious?" "Dead serious." I fired him the next week. Not out of revenge, just performance metrics. And that old truck? Still parked in the same spot. Still runs perfectly. Because I never needed to prove anything to people who measure worth by what you drive. I proved it by owning what they drove too.
Hey there, welcome to Revenge Uncovered with Nora, where we bring you unforgettable stories, shocking twists, and powerful real-life moments. If you love emotional and dramatic storytelling, you're in the right place. Subscribe and join the journey.
They still make those? The words cut through the parking lot. I'm gripping the wheel of my 1998 Ford F-150, engine ticking as it cools. Brandon's voice carries a casual cruelty of someone who's never been told no. Beside him, Evan's already got his phone out, filming. I step out slowly. The executive lot gleams. Leased BMWs, Audis, a Tesla. My truck looks like it wandered in from another decade. Brandon adjusts his tie, smirking. "Seriously, Caleb, we can get you into something newer." I lock the door. It runs fine. Evan snickers. But does it impress clients? I don't answer. Let them think what they want. Let them see a 41-year-old mechanic driving his dead father's truck. They have no idea I already own 7% of their parent company. The boardroom smells like expensive coffee and overconfidence. Brandon introduces me with a casual wave. "This is Caleb Turner, our operations guy." Not consultant, not strategist, just guy. Brandon clicks through slides, stumbling over a revenue forecast that ignores freight volatility. I see the flaw immediately. They're projecting 18% growth while diesel costs spike. Their margins can't absorb that pressure. I jot a note. Say nothing. Nobody asks about the fundamentals. Brandon basks in approval, unaware those projections could collapse their margins within a year. I'm already planning my next stock purchase. The jokes continue for weeks. "Farm trucks here," someone calls each morning. In meetings, I'm the last to speak. When I do, Brandon talks over me. Once, he patted my shoulder and said, "That's interesting, Caleb. We'll keep in mind." My suggestion would have saved them $340,000. They ignored it. I went home and studied their debt structure, balance sheets, credit agreements, loan covenants. Reedridge Industrial Supply is dangerously overleveraged. Debt to EBITDA ratio at 4.8x. The covenant threshold is 5.0x. They're walking a tightrope. I buy another 2% of shares. Quietly, late Thursday, I'm reviewing quarterly filings. There's a clause in their senior credit facility, a maintenance covenant tied to EBITDA performance. If they breach it, lenders gain leverage. I run the numbers. Reedridge is 3% away from violation. One bad quarter is all it would take. I pull up my brokerage account and cue another purchase. By Monday, I'll own 9.5%. Still invisible. Still driving the same truck. The video appears Tuesday morning. Subject, LOL. It's Evan's Slack post. A 15-second clip of my truck with country music and sepia filter. The comments are worse. Is that thing street legal? Budget cuts hitting hard. A warehouse employee named Marcus stops by my desk. That video ain't right. I smile. It's fine. After he leaves, I forward the video to my investment attorney. Document this. She replies, "Noted, building the file." That night, I sit in the truck in my driveway. I run my hand along the steering wheel, feeling every crack where my father's hands used to rest. He bought this truck used in 1998, drove it for 15 years. "If it runs, you don't replace it," he'd say. The truck isn't old. It's earned. I think about the video. The laughter. Then I increase my purchase order by another 1.5%. By week's end, I'll own 11%. Harmon Industrial, a key vendor, files bankruptcy on Wednesday. The office erupts in chaos. I'd seen this coming months ago. I'd even mentioned it in a meeting. Brandon had waved it off. Harmon's fine. Now they're scrambling to replace 30% of raw material sourcing. I quietly position capital for what comes next. When Restructured misses their revenue target, and their loan covenant will strain. The emergency board meeting happens Monday. Rebecca's assistant accidentally forwards me the notes. Subject: covenant breach discussion. Restructured's EBIT to miss target by 2%. Not enough to breach yet, but close. The CFO downplayed it. Brandon laughed about weathering storms. But the largest creditor, Whitmore Capital, requested a private review. I messaged my attorney. Monitor Whitmore Capital. Over 6 weeks, I crossed 12% ownership. Still mocked daily. Still driving the same truck. Brandon passes me in the hallway. Caleb, we should talk about your presentation. Image matters. I nod politely. What he doesn't know, I'm the third largest shareholder. The stock dips 8% on weak earnings. I buy more shares. My attorney calls. You're approaching disclosure threshold. Once you hit 15%, you'll need to file publicly. Let's stay just under for now. Restructured needs emergency liquidity, $12 million for vendor payments. Brandon and Rebecca quietly approach outside investors. My private equity contact tells me over coffee. They're desperate. That night, I set up a new investment vehicle to participate without disclosing my involvement. Within 2 weeks, preliminary talks begin. Restructured doesn't know one potential savior is the guy they mock. Thursday afternoon, my contact Daniel calls. Your name came up internally at Restructured. Someone leaked you've been accumulating shares. Who leaked it? Junior analyst. Connected to Evan. Evan's college roommate. I lean against my truck. They know I'm coming. Within 48 hours, Restructured initiates a poison pill designed to dilute large shareholders crossing 15%. My attorney calls. You've got 2 days before dilution triggers. I review the terms. It's aggressive, well-constructed, but it has a weakness. It protects equity, not debt. Change of strategy. I tell my attorney. We're going through the back door. Friday morning, I call Whitmore Capital. Managing partner Victoria Chin answers. I've been expecting your call. I want to back your debt personally in exchange for conversion rights. She exhales slowly. That's aggressive. It's practical. You get security. I get leverage. We negotiate for 2 hours. Whitmore agrees. Control shifts at the debt level. The poison pill becomes irrelevant. The board meeting happens Tuesday. My attorney forwards real-time updates. Brandon expected to celebrate blocking the mysterious shareholder. Brandon demanded explanation. Rebecca explained conversion rights. I now held more power than any equity shareholder. Evan went pale. Brandon's voice tight. The truck guy? A shareholder vote was scheduled for 4 weeks. I received the news in my truck during lunch, eating a packed sandwich. I smiled. The vote happens on a Monday in November. Debt converts. Equity restructures. I own 51% of Restructured Industrial Supply. No celebration. No speech. Just paperwork and a handshake with Victoria Chin. I drive home in my truck. The radio plays classic rock. Everything feels the same, except it's not. Same parking lot. Same truck. Same spot. No one laughs. I walk past Brandon's Mercedes without eye contact. People part as I move through hallways. Someone holds the elevator. By 10 a.m., a company-wide meeting is announced. The conference room is packed. I stand at the front. No slides. No notes. We're going to focus on fundamentals. Not optics. Not who drives what. We're building a company that works. I pause. All executives are under performance review. Metrics will be transparent. Results will matter. I don't mention the mockery. Don't reference the truck. Then Rebecca dropped it. Whitmore Capital restructure our credit. There's a new guarantor, Caleb Turner. Silence. Brandon shifts uncomfortably. I outline new policies. Profit sharing for warehouse staff. Increased maintenance budgets. Transparent reporting. Questions. Silence. Let's get to work. Brandon's termination happens the next week. Clean. Documented. Unemotional. His metrics don't hold up. Revenue targets missed. Cost overruns ignored. Evan's executive fast track dissolves. He's reassigned a junior analyst with clear expectations. No revenge, just performance reality. Within a month, 3 more executives are replaced. The company stabilizes. Warehouse workers begin to trust me. Marcus stops me in the hallway. Thanks for actually caring. I shake his hand. Thank you for the work you do. Industry media notices the turnaround. Industry Week publishes an article 3 months later about Redridge's turnaround. A reporter calls for an interview. I decline. Send them to our COO. They specifically want you. Send them to the COO anyway. The story isn't about me. It's about the work. The article publishes without my photo. Just numbers. Just results. I keep parking in the same spot. Evan approaches me one afternoon. Mr. Turner? Can I talk to you? He looks smaller, less confident. I wanted to apologize. For the video. For everything. I didn't know who you were. I study his face. That was the point, I say quietly. You weren't supposed to know. Respect earned through fear isn't real respect. He nods uncertainly. You're a decent analyst when you focus. Stop worrying about who's watching and start worrying about the work. I climb into my truck and drive away. A national podcast reaches out for a profile. My PR director forwards it. This could be huge for company image. I reply, decline, keep our focus internal. She pushes back. This exposure could attract investors. We don't need exposure. We need execution. The podcast moves on. Employees start telling new hires about the truck, about the turnaround. It becomes company lore. Not because I promoted it, but because people witnessed it. HR suggests an executive vehicle allowance. It's standard for CEOs at companies our size. You could lease something new. I flip through the pages without reading. I'll pass. Sir, it's a legitimate business expense. The truck runs fine, but it's nearly 25 years old, and it starts every morning. She doesn't understand, and that's okay. That evening, I sit in the truck after work. The sun sets behind the building, casting shadows across pavement I used to cross under laughter. Now, I cross it under respect. 1 year after taking control, revenue is up 23%. Customer retention at an all-time high. Employee turnover halved. Margin stabilized. Marcus from the warehouse visits my office with a handmade wooden plaque. Real recognizes real. The guys pitched in. We wanted you to know we see you. My throat tightens. Thank you, Marcus. This means more than you know. I set it on my desk, front and center. Late Friday evening. I'm the last one in the building. I walk through quiet hallways to the empty parking lot. Just my truck under a flickering streetlight. I run my fingers across the cracked steering wheel, feeling every worn groove, every memory. I remember being laughed at in this spot, and I realize it stopped hurting long ago. Somewhere along the way, I stopped needing their validation. I built something real, something that mattered. Respect isn't given. It's earned. I turn the key. The engine catches on the first try. I smile. They laughed at my truck in the parking lot. They filmed it, mocked it, made jokes. They saw an old vehicle and assumed an old man stuck in the past. They never looked deeper, never asked questions. I bought their company. I restructured their leadership. I turned their sinking ship into a profitable enterprise. And I never upgraded the truck, because the truck was never the point. The point was knowing my worth when no one else did. The point was building something real while others built facades. The point was understanding that power whispers while insecurity shouts. I drive home that night, windows down, radio playing softly. The engine purrs. The road stretches ahead. And somewhere behind me, in a parking lot that used to echo with laughter, there's only silence now. Respectful, earned, unshakable silence. I wouldn't trade it for anything.